There is a reason why Elon Musk is frequently asked about the existence of intelligent extraterrestrial life and the probability that other civilizations exist in some place outside of our solar system. Of course, Musk knows many secrets from space discoveries by NASA that are not available to the public. And Elon Musk challenged Oxford University's researchers who have finished and released a scientific study to reveal why there are no aliens anywhere in the universe. However, Musk disagrees with this idea and proposes his solution, and that's why we will focus towards Elon and his opinion about extraterrestrial life, because he said something very interesting about aliens that might change your perception about whether aliens exist or not. After analysing Musk's opinion about disagreeing with the Fermi paradox and explaining the Drake equation, it is clear to see that Musk knows something that may not be available to the public. So let's analyse it. As we already explained in the previous video, it is theorized that for how big and grand our universe is and how long Earth has been around, there should have been enough time for an intelligent species to have invented the technology to reach our area of the universe and pay us a visit. After all, we visited our own moon in 1969 and have been sending out different messages and indications of our presence since that time, so why have aliens not done the same to us? The simple answer to that is that we are indeed alone in the universe and there are no aliens. However, Musk hasn't given up on the idea of a visiting alien, as it seems, despite the Fermi paradox, famously tweeting an article from Gizmodo which offered counterpoints to the paradox, offering simple explanations on how aliens could exist but haven't come to visit us. For a while, Musk's optimism to meet an alien appeared to be contrary to the scientific theories we had available, but recently there have been some revisions to the Drake equation that might have turned it all on its head. The Drake equation, for those of you unaware, is a 7-variable mathematical way of trying to narrow down the chances of active civilizations existing out there in space. It is a complex equation, calculating the number of intelligent civilizations by the average rate of star formation, the fraction of those stars that have planets, the number of planets which could support life per every star that has planets close enough, the fraction of those planets which could support life, which would have to theoretically have had time to develop it, the fraction of planets which have developed life and then gone on to develop intelligent life, the fraction of those societies of intelligent life that develop technology good enough to release detectable signals of their presence, and finally, the length of time those signals would have been in space, i.e. would they have been there long enough to be picked up by us. For those interested, that makes the Drake equation n equals r multiplied by point fp, point ne, point fl, point fi, point fc, point l. Now, the Drake equation was initially invented in 1961 by Frank Drake, which means it has been a substantial amount of time since its conception. At the time, the chances of meeting intelligent life were slim, according to this equation, but the technology that the equation was based on was limited. The equation, as mentioned, relies on information about the rate stars form, how many planets we could observe in habitable states, and all sorts of other space phenomena, which we could have never seen with as much accuracy in the 60s as we can today. With the equation now being a grand 61 years old, it probably needed an update, considering how much technology has moved on since then. The good news for alien lovers is that with this new technology, things are looking more hopeful for an extraterrestrial encounter than ever. For example, NASA's Kepler satellite, as well as other equipment used to observe the heavens, make a guess at 2 times 10 to the power of 22 stars in our universe, with 20% of those stars having planets in possibly habitable zones. Adam Frank, co-author of the revision and astronomer at the University of Rochester, calculated the chances of human beings being alone in the universe at 1 in 10 billion trillion. This is taking into account all of the 13.78 or so billion years the universe has been around, but what it does mean is that aliens are very likely to have existed. However, whether those aliens are currently alive and able to be found is still up for debate, but it's a debate which Musk is on the, in his own word, optimistic side on. To quote him fully, the number of extinct single-planet civilizations probably exceeds live civs by at least 1,000 to 1. I'm being optimistic. But something to keep in mind is that if Musk is optimistic, then it might not just be a flight of fancy. Musk, as the CEO of SpaceX, working very closely with NASA in many ways and otherwise ingrained in those circles, is able to peruse and understand hundreds of hours worth of data collected by SETI researchers and astronomers. He has studied and is considered by many to be a self-made expert in the area. So if Musk believes the revisions to the Drake equation are enough to get excited about a possible experience with aliens, then maybe we ought to believe him on that. Perhaps the simplest expression of Musk's enthusiasm is this. In 2017, Musk retweeted the news about the revision to the Drake equation in an article by Inverse, captioning it, "Where are the blank aliens?" This, by many, may have been taken as a sarcastic jab at the article or a joke, but with Musk then later clarifying that he was being on the optimistic side of this news and fully believing that, like the revised Drake equation suggests, there not being other intelligent life other than humans is very unlikely. Nearly 10 billion trillion to 1 kind of unlikely. One can't help but wonder if Musk may have actually been asking the question in excitement and earnest. All in all, this is all still purely theoretical, with the Fermi paradox still not truly able to be disproven until we have true evidence of aliens, and even the revised version of the Drake equation being based off of the assumption that intelligent life would take a similar path through evolution to humans, taking the same amount of time, needing the same conditions on a planet for life to grow, etc., when real alien life may in fact be hugely different. Until we meet an alien in the flesh or find an undeniable spacecraft, we may not know if any of our calculations about aliens are correct. But for space nuts like Musk out there, the new and improved Drake equation is just a little extra hope that we as humans might have intelligent neighbors after all. That's it. Don't forget to subscribe,